We haven't talked to you since the players, I guess if you want to call it a protest, had opted to sit out and wanted some change at the university level in light of that offensive tweet from a few weeks ago. How happy were you with the way everything wound up working out there? It does appear now that all the student athletes, to my knowledge, are back and working out and taking part in everything. How did you feel about the way things shook out?
Well, I think it was a great learning process for everybody. Again, Julian Jones, who's our assistant AD for student-athlete development, did a great job in working with the athletes, and some of our coaches were also very helpful in working with our athletes to just, helping them understand the process of a university. I think they just felt that, they saw immediate reaction from athletic departments, whether it was Iowa or Oklahoma State, that they felt maybe that should happen here and didn't fully understand how a university is different than in an athletic department. But, there was a lot of things I think they learned of programs we already had in place, and our diversity plan was already been in place for a couple of years and had been very active, and they just weren't aware of in some cases. In other cases, they came up with some really good thoughts for us to consider, not only, for the athletic department, but for the university. And I think the university responded very well and very quickly in the course of the summer, and folks on vacation and everything else that happened on a campus. So, I think we have some really good things moving forward. We have to continue to commit to the plan, whether it was internally here for athletics for the university, and a lot of people are committed on campus and here. So I think it was a great process. I think it showed maturity on those kids to work through it and get to a point where they felt comfortable. And so it was a lot of great conversation, a lot of emotional conversations, and ones that I think were much needed.
I know that this would be above you guys and out of your hands as an athletic department, but how confident are you that there will be some policy change eventually out of this?
Well, I'm pretty confident. I mean, the conversations I've been in with, our cabinet members on campus and the president and the folks, Brian Samuel and his staff, and the students, again, a lot of the policy our athletes would like to see are really student-driven, campus student-driven. And that process can be a little slower process than what I think they thought. So, but I do think there's a big commitment to it. The student body president was on the call, and some key senators and folks, and I know we already have meetings planned to get together to discuss those issues. So yeah, I think everybody's committed to keeping this thing moving forward.
Gene Taylor is talking with us. We saw the news that the Wichita State series is now going to happen in basketball, something I'm very excited for. Now, I have heard this complaint from so many people. Hey, we're K-State, they're Wichita State. Why can't this be Manhattan, Wichita, and Kansas City for the series instead of 2 games in Wichita and 1 in Kansas City, 1 in Manhattan? What would you say to those that would complain about that element?
Well, I think what they have to understand is this first one is scheduled to be an exhibition game. And the reason the coaches wanted to play it there was because the Wichita area has been hit a lot harder by the COVID than Manhattan, and they both agreed that the charity, you have to have an exhibition game like that on the road, you have to have a charity reason, and they were both coaches wanted to go to COVID-related area of support in the Wichita area. And some coming back to Manhattan, too, the United Way, which is Coach Weber's very close with, as am I. And so I don't discount that game simply necessarily, but it's an exhibition game. It's not a part of the 4-game series. What I looked at more, and I think our fans need to look at more, is the 4-game series. The other one is really not part of the contract. Yes, it was in there, but it is an exhibition game that we were going to play had we not even put together the 4 games for the Wichita area because of COVID. And I think people just have to recognize it's an exhibition game. It's a charity thing, and let's enjoy that and not complain about it necessarily.
Is it fair to say, when you break down the rest of it, though, the fact that there is a game in Trust Bank Arena and then one in Coke Arena, 2 games in Wichita, a game in Kansas City, a game in Manhattan, that it's, hey, these are 2 pretty equal programs, and therefore the split should be anticipated to be equal as opposed to, hey, K-State's a Power 5 school, they should have the upper hand here?
Well, again, I think also you have to look at it. It's really 2 neutral sites and 2 home sites, right? Okay, granted, 1 neutral site's in Wichita, 1's in Kansas City, but we also get an advantage that we get to play in the arena where our Big 12 tournament is. That's an advantage for us and our team. We also have a lot of fans in Wichita, as we do in Kansas City. And so it was more about us being able to get in front of our fans with a good game in a neutral site that gives us, 50% of the arena. Kansas City, we get majority of the seats in Kansas City. So it is, yes, they get 2 in their city, we get 1 in our city and 1 in Kansas City, but we wanted that because we wanted to get to KC with a good game and play in the arena where our Big 12 tournament is. We wanted to get in Wichita, not only on their home floor, but in a neutral site arena for our fans. So we've got fans, and we're going to have fans at all places. So it's, we looked at more where were our fans, where could we get an advantage for our team, and Kansas City, and there would be, from our fans' perspective, is where we wanted to play.
Well, I'm very much on board with it. I also like the fact that in football you have Colorado and Missouri coming up on the schedule. I'm all for all these fun regional rivalries that you can put into place. The only thing, Gene, you got to get Nebraska on the football schedule at some point for me.
Yeah, there we go. We'll get that moving. It'll be a good one. Iowa would be another good one, right? I mean, I think those would be great non-conference games for us. So we'll have to keep working on that. I think didn't AD in Nebraska say he wanted to play us? So I think we'll schedule out to like 2025. But we'll see what we could do.
That was, I just looked at that earlier today. 2018, as of 2018, he was quoting Kansas and Kansas State being potential opponents there. So if I can just be like the Tinder to you guys getting together and making it happen, I will just be the middleman here and making this happen.
Perfect. That'll be perfect. All right, that works.